Welcome to the Moreland Hall Christmas video. My name's Brandon Jones and next to me is Kate. Kate is a nutritionist here at Moreland Hall and Kate's going to demonstrate how to cook something both nutritious and I presume festive. What exactly are you cooking today?
Today we're going to do a different take on a normal traditional Christmas cake. Suitable for diabetics and it's also suitable for people across the board who are looking to make changes in their dietary behaviour. It's very healthy, we don't use sugar and we use a couple of really special ingredients that give it that sweetness and moistness and make it a lovely alternative for Christmas.
Great, we actually had this at this Christmas party and it was terrific. So can you take us through the ingredients please, Kate?
Yes, we have cinnamon, mixed spice, baking soda, mashed pumpkin, our raisins, sultanas, walnuts, pecan nuts, wholemeal self-raising flour, white self-raising flour, 2 eggs beaten, half a cup of skim milk, orange juice freshly squeezed, agave syrup or alternatively apple juice concentrate.
Okay, let's start. What's the first step?
The first step is that we have soaked our sultanas and raisins in our fresh orange juice overnight. Now this can be done on the morning that you're making it, but what happens is we rehydrate the fruit and we lose a lot of the outer oils that have built up in the process of when they've actually been dried, which gives the cake a lot more body and also a lot more moisture. Okay, so all you need for this recipe, it's really easy, is a large mixing bowl. I've got my spatula that I use and also a cake tin.
That's it?
That's it.
Great.
It's very simple, all mixed in one bowl. We're not using the beaters, we're not using any other fiddly kitchen products. It just is simple. We can make it on the bench, made within about 15 minutes.
Okay, next step.
Next step is we're going to put our pumpkin into our bowl. Now here I have some mashed pumpkin that I've just steamed and mashed. So I'm going to put my pumpkin in.
How did you mash it?
Just with a fork, very easy. You know, it's just well cooked. I've used butternut pumpkin. Butternut pumpkin is the sweeter of the 2 sorts of pumpkin. Then I'm going to put in my whisked eggs. I've just whisked those 2 eggs with a fork.
Yep.
So we're just going to mix those eggs through. So really all we're doing here is adding all our wet ingredients.
And I noticed when I tasted the cake at the Christmas party that you couldn't actually taste the pumpkin at all. It was just...
No, that adds a lot of flavour and sweetness and depth as well as the concentrate. Now I've just put in our skim milk. All I'm going to do, you can see that's producing a lovely colour there.
Yep.
And we're just going to mix that through and that forms the basis of our cake.
Great.
So now that we've got a nice consistency, as you can see there, all our 3 ingredients are well blended, we're going to add our agave syrup.
Now what is agave?
Agave comes from a Mexican plant. It's a traditional plant used in Mexico and it has a low GI index, which is a glycemic index. Now for that it means that it releases the sugar into our bloodstream very slowly in order for us not to have a sudden peak in energy and then a crash. So it's very good and very suitable for diabetics.
Absolutely. So is agave expensive?
No, it's not at all expensive. You can purchase it for around $4 a bottle and it's readily available at the supermarket and other health food stores and even smaller shops now, other outlets.
Okay.
Then our next step is we're going to put in our soaked fruit. So I have a spoon here. We can either drain that off. I'm just going to ladle it in with my spoon.
So you don't put the orange juice in?
No, we don't want to use the juice. A little bit doesn't matter, but we're going to mainly leave the liquid behind.
Just the fruit.
So then we're going to put that into our cake mix.
Can you use mixed fruit instead?
Yes, you could. The reason that we've used these 2 types of fruit is because they are a lot better for diabetics and people that are watching their weight. The mixed fruit usually has a higher sugar content, so it's quite specific, the ingredients in this recipe, in as far as keeping within the guidelines for what the recommended daily intakes are with our nutrient requirements. Okay, so our next step is adding our nuts. We have our pecan nuts and our walnuts, and I'm just going to crush them in our mortar and pestle.
Now, if I don't have pecan nuts, can I just use walnuts instead?
Yes, certainly you can. Both of them are very good for diabetics. So one nut or both types are fine. It just adds a little bit of variety and a different flavour. This is also adding our roughage to our cake. So once we've crushed our pecans and our walnuts, I'm just going to then put them into our mixture and stir those through. It's starting to look like a cake batter, and we're going to now add our spices. So I've got our cinnamon here, 1 teaspoon. I'm usually fairly heavy-handed on my spices, so it doesn't matter if it's a little bit heaped, as you can see there, my mixed spice, and then we're just going to stir that through our mixture, and you can already start to see,
fantastic.
yes, and that gives us, can you smell the Christmassy
Yeah,
smell?
very much so.
So, final step in our beautiful Christmas cake preparation is our flour. Now, doesn't matter what order you place them in. There we have our wholemeal. I'm going to sieve my white self-raising flour. This is unbleached flour. We can add the baking soda at the same time as we're sifting through the flour. Okay, so here we have our greased tin. Any tin will do. I've just lightly greased that with some butter, just around the outside. You can use baking paper. We just wanted to make sure it comes out of the tin. And that's now ready. The cake's already looking delicious to pour into our tin. So I'm now going to put that into the tin.
Do you want me to hold that for you?
There we are.
Yeah.
And evenly spread that out into the corners. You can see it's looking really delicious. And I'm going to now put it in the oven, 200 Celsius for 10 minutes that I've preheated for approximately 15 minutes. And then we're going to drop the temperature down to 180. So here goes. So here, Brandon, I have the finished product.
Smells fantastic.
There's our Christmas cake, which is lovely. We've let it rest on a wire rack.
For how long?
For half an hour. A cake really does need to be cool before you cut it. And of course, you could be making this up to a day before for Christmas. You know, it's not something that you need to necessarily make on the day of Christmas. It can be something made and out of the way. And there we have our cake.
Fantastic. And how long does that keep for?
That will keep, because of the fruit and the syrup, which are natural preservatives. Anything that creates sugar in something keeps it for a certain amount of period. I would usually keep that in an airtight container for up to about 2 weeks.
Okay.
So here, Brandon, we have the finished product. Here is our Christmas cake that we've finished. We've packaged it in order to give it as a Christmas present. It's a really special thing when you make something and offer it as a gift at a time like this. And I hope you enjoy it.
It looks great, thank you. Well, we hope you enjoyed the video. We know that Christmas can be a difficult time for our clients. Here at Moreland Hall, we hope that yourselves and your clients have a safe Christmas and hopefully a few laughs and good times with friends and family as well. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.